Texture. So texture refers to surface quality or the feel of an object. So that could be smooth, it could be rough, it could be soft, and it really does help make the photograph look realistic. It enhances a three-dimensional feel. So when we talk about texture, it can be actual, or what we would say is tactile, or implied. So of course our photography is going to be implied. It's a photo of a actual texture, but it is implied because we can't touch our screen and feel that texture, or we can't touch the print and feel that texture. So the texture is implied, it's suggested as by you as the photographer when the photo is created. We know that texture is emphasized in oblique lighting. So when that light doesn't strike it straight on, but more from an angle, from the side, one side or the other, we get more texture. A designer is the most successful. That designer has hit on many senses. So we want to try to engage our audience more than just in sight, but in implying some of these other textures, like these other senses, like texture or smell. So texture is a really important thing for your photos. Here's some examples of texture. So this texture of this leaf here, or the grass, it's actually, I believe, a daylily. You can feel how that would be if you touched it. You know that there's water on there, and you know what water feels like when you touch it. So there, the texture is really emphasized. In the rocks, you know how a rock feels, and so you know how harsh and how rough this surface is. Hopefully you haven't really touched a bear, but you understand from what you've learned, or maybe you have touched a bear, how that fur, it looks soft and cuddly, but yet it's not so soft, it's a little bit coarse, but there's a texture there. We also may look at this implied, the texture of the wood. So the bear is laying on the wood as though it was laying on a pillow. However, we know that that wood is very hard, so it's not soft like a pillow that we would want to lay on. And again, the texture, this might be one more that you would closer relate to, the texture of a cat. When you pet a cat, how soft that is, a fluffy cat. So we see that texture being utilized. So the goal for you as a photographer is to try to really hit on different textures to really engage your audience.